He loves you every moment, he cares for you each day. And if you'll stop to think a while, he's blessed you in each way. Yes, that's his love. Yes, that's his love. Yes, that is our Father's love that's dwelling in our hearts. He wants you in his family.
Good morning, little ones. My name is Mama Luca. I'm here and going to read to you this morning. There's a book called The Value of Love, and it's about a gentleman, a person long time ago called Johnny Appleseed. The book is written by Anne Donegan Johnson. It's called A Value Tale, and it's part of a whole series of books that she put together about real people, but in a tale form, which means she added stuff to it, added story to it, and fun things. So we've got The Value of Love. We're going to look at it really closely, see? Whatever time of day it is for you, we're going to only read a little bit of this at a time, because it's a very long book. The Value of Love, the story of Johnny Appleseed, again written by Anne Donegan Johnson. She says, this tale is about a very loving person, Johnny Appleseed. The story that follows is based on events in his life. More historical facts about Johnny Appleseed can be found on page 63, which is the last part of the book. Once upon a time, so long ago, that most of our country was still a wilderness. Do you know what a wilderness is? It's like where lots and lots of trees, and most of our country was like that at this time. A little boy was busy growing up in a tiny, crowded cabin in a small but bustling community in Massachusetts. The boy's name was John Chapman, and of course everyone called him Johnny. Do you know where Massachusetts is? It's one of our 50 states. I live in Florida, of the United States. The boy's name was John Chapman, and of course everyone called him Johnny. And even when he was a very young boy, he wasn't quite like the other boys. He's given to wandering and dreaming, said the neighbors. What a restless child. Like as not, Mistress Chapman will have her troubles with that lad. Who's Mistress Chapman? Johnny's stepmother paid no attention to the gossips. Johnny is a loving boy, she said to herself as she watched him with his little brothers and sisters. There's no one better to rock or cradle or sing a lullaby. Johnny was a willing boy, too. He was always ready to run to the woodpile and bring back logs for the fire, or to scamper to the well when his stepmother needed a pail of water. Do you need to go to the well to get water? No, you can just run to the faucet, huh? Wow. True. The boy was a dreamer, so he had his troubles with the schoolmaster. Do you ever have trouble in school where you're thinking so much about some things, daydreaming, that you forget what the teacher said or don't listen very carefully? Well, he did that to you, but he seemed to do very well. He got along well enough, she says, and before he was very old, he had learned to do his sums. Sums means you're adding and subtractions, and to read his Bible. And it turned out that reading the Bible was the thing Johnny dearly loved to do. Here's Johnny rocking his little sister in the cradle and reading his Bible. And daydreaming. When he wasn't in school or at his chores or helping with the newest baby in the family, Johnny liked to go off into the woods by himself. He would sit under a tree and read the Bible out loud. Strangely enough, the animals sometimes came to listen. Then Johnny would leave off reading, and he would start to tell them what it was like in heaven, and how surely even the squirrels and the badgers must have a place there, for didn't the Lord make them all? The birds sat on the low branches just above Johnny's head, and they listened. The rabbits crept close to Johnny's feet. Sometimes a young deer stalked out of the forest and stood staring at the dark-haired boy with a big book. One especially fine autumn afternoon, when the boy was warm in the clearings, a jay flew down, a jaybird, and perched on Johnny's shoulder. It made a noisy, chattering, scolding sound, as jays often do. Then it flew up and away and was gone. A raccoon was washing a crayfish in the stream nearby. He looked around as the jay flew off. "I think," said the raccoon, "that bird was trying to tell you something." "I guess he was telling me goodbye," said Johnny softly. "It's time for him to fly south before the snows come." Then Johnny suddenly realized that he was sitting there having a chat with a raccoon. While it's true that Johnny often talked to the animals, he was more than a bit startled to hear one talk back to him, and in his own language. "My name is Randy," said the raccoon, "and I've been watching you for quite a while. I'd like to be your friend. I don't suppose you'd mind having a furry friend, would you?" There's Johnny and the raccoon. Now, do you think raccoons really talk? Now, deep down in his heart, Johnny knew that raccoons took in raccoon talk and not in plain ordinary English. He knew he had made Randy up, but he needed a friend who would understand how it was with him, how he liked to wander by himself and dream big dreams of exploring the land that lay to the west of Massachusetts. It was wild land where the forest grew so thick that someone who walked under the trees might think it was twilight all the day long. So when Johnny set out for home, he took Randy with him, and when he came in sight of the cabin where he lived, he was swarming with youngsters, and there was a wagon out in front. "It's Pa!" cried Johnny. "He's come home from his trip." Johnny began to run, for he loved his father very much. Next to the times when he was in the woods, he liked the times he was in his father's carpentry shop, watching Nathaniel Chapman, his father, make bowls and churns and spice boxes for the good folks in the settlements up and down the state. "When you get a mite bigger," his father always told him, "you can come with me to help sell my wooden wares," sell the things he made out of wood. Johnny wasn't quite big enough yet, so that day he just helped his father unhitch the old horse from the wagon and lead it into the barn. "Maybe when I go in the springtime," said Johnny's father, "you can come with me." Then Mr. Chapman went into the house. Randy the raccoon watched while Johnny rubbed the horse down with handfuls of straw. "You're a good old boy," said Johnny to the horse, and he kissed the horse on the nose. "Next spring," he said, "next spring I could go with Pa." So in light of that, next spring he can go with his father. I'm going to have to say goodbye for now, as this is a very long book, and we'll read some more next time.
He loves you every moment, he cares for you each day, and if you'll stop to think a while, he's blessed you in each way. Yes, that's his love, yes, that's his love. Yes, that is our Father's love that's dwelling in our